One person is still missing following a tornado in Barnsdall. An update on budget talks at the Oklahoma State Capitol. And Epic Charter School's co-founders trial has been delayed again. This is the KGOU AM News Brief for Wednesday, May 8th. I'm Nick Daniels. The National Weather Service has rated the tornado that leveled Barnsdall as a preliminary EF4. The tornado in the northeast community was one of 8 that roared through the state Monday night. The violent weather led to at least one death in Barnsdall. Rescuers are still searching for a missing person. Barnsdall Mayor Johnny Kelly says as few as 8 people were injured.
I attribute that to people being weather aware. I attribute that to people paying attention to the weather and the warnings, and when the sirens were blown and the warnings were given out over their cell phones and over their TVs, that they took cover and did what they needed to do to keep safe.
Dozens of homes were destroyed and a nursing home took a direct hit. Nearby areas also took damage, including Bartlesville and the Osage Nation Reservation. A shelter is available for people displaced by the tornado at the nearby Osage County Fairgrounds. Also, Governor Kevin Stitt toured the area yesterday afternoon and addressed the media.
Oklahoma's been hit pretty hard over the last week and a half or so. We just toured the damage here, probably 60, 70 homes that were totally destroyed, and I think the count's up to probably 350 or so statewide now.
Stitt also expressed his appreciation for the federal response to the recent storms.
The feds have been really helpful. They've approved everything that we've asked for from FEMA. Administrator Chris Wells also already reached out on this latest round of storms.
Oklahoma will get a much-needed break from violent storms with calmer weather in the forecast for at least the next several days. State budget discussions in the Oklahoma legislature are lagging. State Capitol reporter Lionel Ramos says as lawmakers discuss the line item minutia in their subcommittees and the big picture priorities alongside the governor, disagreements remain on a handful of key issues and the end of the session draws near.
Senate Pro Tem Greg Treat laid down a few, quote, expectations ahead of Monday's historic state budget summit with House Speaker Charles McCall, Governor Kevin Stitt, and other House and Senate leaders. But one stood out.
I want to be abundantly clear that our subcommittees will not be cut out of this process.
Legislative subcommittees are the teams of lawmakers nailing down the nitty-gritty details of state spending during public meetings. But Treat's commitment to what he calls a more transparent process means little progress on actual budgetary agreements, as Senate subcommittee members stick to their original positions on most issues. Meanwhile, House Republicans and Governor Stitt have expressed flexibility in their state spending plans to accommodate an income tax cut, which the Senate refuses to humor. Lawmakers have until May 31st to conclude the legislative session. I'm Lionel Ramos.
The conclusion of the preliminary hearing for the trial against Epic Charter School's co-founders is delayed again. State Impact's Beth Wallace reports it was supposed to continue Tuesday and Wednesday, but likely won't start up again for months.
After a week-long preliminary hearing failed to wrap up in March for the case against the school's co-founders, Judge Jason Glidewell had set its conclusion for May 7th and 8th. But because of a last-minute motion to disqualify a defense attorney, the hearing's finale has been pushed back until at least late July. Epic founders Benjamin Harris and David Cheney face a slew of embezzlement-related charges for their role in managing Epic Charter Schools. Epic's former chief financial officer, Josh Brock, was supposed to return to the stand Tuesday to continue testimony as the state's star witness in exchange for a deal without prison time. But his attorney filed a motion that defense lawyer Gary Wood should recuse himself, claiming Wood represented Brock in the past. The motion says Wood has learned confidential and privileged information about Brock, and it would be unethical for Wood to cross-examine him. If Wood needs to be replaced, that could set the hearing back even further. For State Impact, I'm Beth Wallace.
In sports, the Oklahoma City Thunder defended home court in the opening game of their second-round NBA playoff series Tuesday night. OPMX's Ryan LaCroix reports on the 117-95 victory over the Dallas Mavericks.
The Thunder remain undefeated in postseason play following a 29-point, 9-rebound, and 9-assist performance by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But the NBA MVP finalist says the team's defensive efforts were crucial to the 22-point win.
We have really good individual defenders, a really good rim protector, and then we do it together. We do it together on both ends of the floor. And defensively, we just try to play together, play on the string, and make it tough for their main guys.
OKC forced 15 turnovers and out-rebounded the Mavs 52-39. The second game of the series is set for Thursday night at the Paycom Center. In Oklahoma City, I'm Ryan LaCroix.
The NBA will announce this season's MVP winner during tonight's playoff broadcast on TNT. You'll find more news throughout the day at our website, kgou.org, and on the KGOU PM NewsBrief podcast.
Hi, it's Terry Gross, the host of Fresh Air. We bring you in-depth, long-form interviews with actors, directors, musicians, authors, journalists, and more. Listen to our Peabody Award-winning Fresh Air podcast from WHYY and NPR.